This is the Ninja's Way podcast, where we talk all things ninja industry, ranging from top-tier athletes to the local ninja entrepreneur. Listen to their journey to success as they conquer obstacles in ninja and in life. This is the Ninja's Way. Welcome back, everybody, to the Ninja's Way podcast. Today we have Evan White. He is an American Ninja Warrior athlete. He was in the top 8 on American Ninja Warrior Junior. He is a 3-time NNL finalist. So this kid knows his way around a ninja competition. So I'm super excited to talk to him today. Evan, thanks so much for being with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
What attracted you to ninja to start out? Because I would consider you a first generation full ninja. So tell us that journey of why ninja and how you got here.
Yeah, we used to live up north in a small town in Wisconsin. There wasn't much up there, like it was just in the middle of the woods, so there was nothing really to do. We barely had access to the TV, but when we did, I would always watch Ninja. So watching Ninja was something that I always loved to do just growing up. And then our family moved towards the city, which is where we are now, and I discovered a Ninja Warrior gym in Woodbury. So I went there for summer camp, tried it out, and fell in love with it, and got a membership, and haven't left since.
When did you start? When did you actually
Yes.
start training?
I think my first time in the gym was 2017, and then I actually started to be serious about it in late to mid 2018, I think.
Yeah.
So quite a long time.
So you started to become more serious about it, doing these competitions. You are a 4-time NNL finalist, a 3-time UNAA finalist. So talk to me about these competition experiences. How do they differ in your mind? Do you like one better than the other? And how has this shaped you as an athlete?
Yeah, I've just always loved Ninja, right? So whether it's WNL, NSC, UNAA, whatever it is, I just love competing and love being with the community. So I think Ninja has provided me with a ton of opportunities, not only to just travel and like see the country and the world, but also just to create all these lifelong friendships and relationships. So that's what Ninja is for me, and I'm super grateful for that.
As we're talking about the competitions, UNA, WNL, there's other big ones out there. So what in your experience do you like the most out of all the leagues?
Yeah, I
Or
really
the
like,
differences in the leagues too?
yeah, I really like just like stage 3 to stage 4 formats. So like stage 1 being more of a speed course, stage 2 a little bit more technical, and then stage 3 like a full-on burnout. So I think all these competitions have their strengths to them, but yeah, any just like stage 3 competitions like Bucket of Chalk, Barn Comp are a couple that I really like attending every year, and those are my favorite style of competitions.
When you're doing all of these competitions or going on American Ninja Warrior, how do you handle the nerves and all of the pressure, like being on these big stages like this?
Yeah, so a year ago, not I would not handle like things like that very well. Like I would just completely let my nerves like overtake me and felt like super flustered and didn't trust my training at all when I was on the course. These last couple years, I have grown a lot in my faith. So when I step onto the start line every competition, just knowing that God's got my back and I'm doing it all for Jesus and to glorify him and his name at the end of the day, like that's all that really matters. So it lets me compete more freely now, which is good.
That's so cool. So you get on the course. I love that you brought up your faith. How is that kind of integrated into your life as a ninja? How do those two worlds collide?
Yeah, so I have grown, like I said, I've grown to know and become friends with a lot of people in the community. So when I first started to train and get to know the Folsoms, their like faith has spread into me a little bit, if that makes sense. Or they've helped me teach me the word and then help me grow in my faith as a person by myself. So getting to know that family is really what helped me with that. So
Yeah, and shout out to Phil Folsom. He runs a Ninja Warrior Bible study. It is a online Zoom call that you can go on and attend, and he does like a little sermon, and you got lots of ninja faces on there. So if you haven't been on that, you need to go check that out. I love that he is bringing those two worlds together, and it's awesome that the experience that you have with that family really helped shape you into becoming more into your faith.
yeah, for sure.
On the faith point, can you be a little more specific? Because I understand the faith component helping you. What more specifically helps? So, say somebody who maybe doesn't have strong faith or they don't know how to compartmentalize that. So what does that faith help you do to help rest your nerves or help you on the course or before you run?
It's hard to explain, but essentially, just like in my head, knowing that whatever I do on the course or whatever I do in this competition does not matter to me specifically.
Yeah.
The only thing that matters is that I glorify God at the end of the day. So that essentially just kind of lets me compete without the nerves of having to perform well or having to impress people or all these other
Yeah.
things.
From what I hear there, it's not defining you. This run is not
Yeah.
going to define you. No, that's a good takeaway for people to think about. Like, you don't have to be defined by one thing.
Yeah.
So you spoke a little bit about getting integrated with the ninja community. How has being a part of the ninja community as a whole impacted your life outside of training and competing?
Yeah, half the reason I compete now and like travel is just to see people because I have so many people from around the country. It's just, I'm so thankful for everyone that I've met these last 6, 7, 8 years now. Yeah, I'm just grateful to have them as friends and have them as people to look up to and train with and strategize with.
That's part of why I want to get this conversation going with you, Evan, is because you have been traveling a lot for ninja and ninja
Yeah.
competitions, things like that. Explain to us or help us, give us some tips on how you actually efficiently do the traveling and still be able to compete at a higher level because you're a high level ninja.
Yeah.
How do you manage to travel and compete?
Yeah, traveling definitely takes a lot out of you, obviously. Like it's exhausting, but I think just like managing your time when you're in the gym is one of the things that I've learned to do a lot this last year and specifically. So like more of just doing course runs, training cardio, and doing things that I would actually need to have the skill wise in competition, as opposed to just going into the gym, maxing out laches, doing tricks, stuff like that. So I think just making sure that every time and every hour I get in the gym is used effectively is something that helps me a lot and I think has set me apart.
I really like that. And was this something that was taught to you by a coach? Is this something that you've evolved into in terms of really managing your in-gym time and what you're doing while you're in the gym?
Yeah, coaches have definitely helped play a part in it. But I think the main thing is like when I'm in the gym training, it can't be during an open gym, right? Just because like with kids around, it's super hard to get effective training and actually run courses. So I've had to start training at night after all the classes are done, and it gets super late. So it's more of just like my motivation to get to bed sooner, essentially,
Sure.
Yeah.
instead of
Well, let's talk about that for a second in regards to your training. So, when
yeah.
you do that, you say, what does that look like on any given week? When you're in the gym, are you looking to work on a specific move or technique? Or is it kind of you have three, four things you're working on plus your cardio or endurance?
Yeah, so it varies every day, but I have a weekly regimen set up. So right now I'm doing 3 days to 4 days a week at the actual Ninja gym. And when I'm at the Ninja gym, I'm doing just like course runs. So I'll do 10, 15 course runs a night, and then I'll have to take everything down and set it all back up. So when I'm in the gym, I'm doing course runs for 3 of those days. And then one of those other days is strength and conditioning. So weighted pull-ups, weighted lock-offs, like a lock off for as long as you can on a bar. And then along with that lock-off circuit is also just like technique stations. So I'll break it up and I'll set up 3 different harder obstacles that may take me a few tries to get and try to just get those obstacles as consistently as I can in that day.
How did you
Sweet.
come up with this regimen? Was it just like knowing what you need from competition, or how did you settle into this routine?
Yeah, so a lot of the regimen that I'm doing now and a lot of the workouts are actually workouts that other people in the community have given me, and I've learned to adapt to myself and like, make it work for my schedule. But yeah, a lot of the workouts that I do come from other people in the community.
And this is just from going and training with them, and then you learn these things, or are you asking these people specifically what they're training and what they're doing?
Yeah, a lot of it is just going and I guess training with them, but I have definitely reached out and asked what to do in my specific situation because everyone's situations around the country are different.
Yeah. Is there any particular person or ninja that you really look up to?
Yeah, the Folsoms are a big one, right? Just as people and as ninjas, they're amazing. And a lot of people down at Jungle Gym are another. They're great people. And then people at Arc Ninja in Colorado are like the other one. So those main three.
Evan, so you spoke about in your training working on course running. So, why course run every week?
Yeah, courses are what the sport is, right? Like I don't go and compete and just like mess around on a couple of obstacles like at that competition. Like I'm doing course runs and hopefully doing well. If not, it is what it is. But yeah, I think learning to train how you compete is
Mm.
something that a coach a long time ago had told me to work on. And I didn't really know what it meant back then. But now, as I've grown up and seen it and learned from all my mistakes and competitions, I know what that
Right.
means.
What are a couple specific things you would be focused on or you think about when you are even just training courses or setting up a course to train on? What are a few things that you're always thinking about?
Yeah, so my main thing when I run courses is I like to do cardio style. So I'll run like a ton of courses in a row with minimal break. And then I also like to focus on doing these big power moves and like technical fast hand moves when I'm physically like tired in my arms and just tired out of breath. So a
Okay.
lot of the things that I set up are like easier in the first half, and then the last 2 to 3 to 4 obstacles are super hard and technical. So it gets me tired and learn how to do those things when I'm tired, essentially.
Sweet.
I think what you said there of learning how to train like you compete is a really great golden nugget for people out there that have kids competitive programs and they're building programs specifically for competition. That's what these things need to simulate. They need to simulate the pressure. They need to
Yeah.
simulate the amount of obstacles that are going to happen in a course or the different kinds, right? Like the speed, the
Mm.
endurance, burnouts. Ninja now is getting so technical with these like really precise moves, and training these things in the classes and as part of your curriculum is what's going to really help those athletes be successful at these big competitions that they go to. Is there any obstacles or competitions that you haven't been able to do yet that you really want to go to?
Ooh, not necessarily. I would like to check out, I haven't really checked out any of the Northeast gyms. So like
Yep.
a lot of those gyms I'd like to just go to and check out. But I think for the most part, I've done at least one competition like everywhere that I wanted to try. Like I did, the main one that I was missing last year was UBW in North Carolina. They have, I think it's just one competition every year now, but it's not like a normal ninja competition where like you don't get to touch any of the obstacles. Like they actually let you on the courses and like you get to practice the obstacles before you actually run, which I think is something that's super unique
Yeah.
and is like kind of game changing in the sport. Like I don't think that's the way that the sport is heading, but I think it's something fun and unique that everyone should try at least
I
once.
want to add that because that's one of the questions. We've been talking about that in the gym with competitions and the progression of the sport. To get the best out of an athlete, think of others, pretty much any other sport, what the course is going to be. You know what you should be practicing. Basketball, the hoops at 10 feet. Wouldn't it make more sense to have you guys be able to train on the obstacles and know what the course is to get truly the best out of everybody? What are your thoughts on that, Evan? I'm just thinking from Ninja Gym standpoint, from Conquer standpoint, from just how the sport's progressing. You know, how we only do what like inter gym comps or UNAA comps or whatever.
Mhm.
We release a course run like a day before.
Yeah.
Nobody has time. Everybody's reacting to, oh, I got to train this quick. I got to train this. That doesn't really bring the best out. And then people make silly mistakes on something that they're going to get 9 out of 10 times they just
Yeah.
didn't know was in the course. That the progress, I'm just asking from a broad stroke.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on being able to actually have know what your the course is going to be in plenty of time or even practice run it?
Yeah. That's just so hard because every gym and every obstacle, no matter where it's set up or who built it, is going to be different, right?
Totally.
I guess where we are right now in Ninja, there's no obstacle that is going to be set up and feel the exact same for every single person. And I also think that with our sport, I think that the challenge of not knowing what you're going to face is actually what makes it unique and is what makes it a little bit more exciting. Like I think that's the hardest thing about our sport is that
Sure.
we don't know what we're gonna have to do at that competition. But I do think it would be cool, like a cool concept to try out. But I do really like just the idea of not really knowing what we're gonna get and everything being new. For bringing out the best in people, I think the NSC League does a really good job at that. Because let's say even if you slip up on a little balance obstacle or like reins or something super easy that you would normally get, you can go back and actually do that obstacle again without much punishment,
Yeah.
which I
Yep.
think is one of the best ways to solve that issue, if you call it that, right now in our sport.
I think it's a very interesting concept of what you're talking about, of a course being standardized and set, or maybe not even standardized, but just to the point where the athletes know what they're getting into. To echo Evan's point, I think that it also is part of being a ninja, like just being adaptable and being able to do things on the fly that's just like you weren't expecting. It's almost part of the skill set that you have to have as a ninja athlete. But I think moving more towards having competitions where you're able to know what the obstacles are, it's something like more like the WNAG, right? If that's going to be a standardized set course, you know what you got to train for, or like an OCR, right? OCR races, many of the times you're also going to know what those are. So I think that there is sub niches of the obstacle training sport as a whole that I think that you can get that kind of flavor from, or going to comps like UBW. And it sounds like they uniquely do that, which I didn't even know about that. So that's pretty cool. I think that is a question should be posed to the larger ninja community of what they think about that, because I think that's a really interesting topic.
I think Evan spoke to some of that from the coaching standpoint. He's looking at it from the gym side of it too, because to his point, like you can't. It's hard to keep obstacles if you're doing a competition next weekend. To have the whole setup for a week and a half or 2 weeks in the
Yeah.
gym just isn't efficient. And then
Well,
you got the management breathing down on the coaches, and it's like we can't have it like this. What's a balance?
Yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
and going back to your point too, like a lot of people now travel, like even if it's just a few hour car ride. So like even
Mm-hmm.
if we did release courses 2 weeks early and like we're able to keep stuff up in the gym, not everyone
Mm-hmm.
that would probably even get to try it. So I think that's another point that makes it tricky. But I think the OCR, the 100-meter course race that's been happening
Mm-hmm.
around the country and actually just happened in Dubai, I think that's like a good first test to see like how the standardized coursing thing works. So I'm excited to see what happens with that.
Yep.
Absolutely. And for me as an athlete, I can look at that and I can be like, oh, I know exactly what skills I need to train. And
Yep.
then you have places like they have a whole outdoor setup of an OCR
Mm-hmm.
100-meter.
Oh,
You go there and then you see these videos where it's like these people are doing these obstacles in one big move, right? Like
yep.
not, they're doing it as efficiently as possible. And I think that's what kind of comes out of things like that, is that athletes now can look at an obstacle and say, okay, can I link this with one move, or can I just do
Yep.
one power move and hit the bell? And that kind of really pushes the technique of them being able to do this on a really high level, which I think that's another aspect that maybe comes out of having a set standardized course, is
Right.
now it's more about how big can you throw this lache, or how much power you have to put behind these bigger moves.
Definitely a lot of factors with it.
Yeah, yeah. What advice would you give younger athletes that are looking to follow in your footsteps as a ninja athlete?
Man, that is a big one. Just keep having fun with it, right? Like I've fallen into the trap of I want to do so well in competition that I overtrain and it doesn't feel fun for me anymore.
Right.
So as long as you can keep having fun with it and keep finding new things to do and having a long-term goal for yourself, I think that'll keep you in the sport and that'll keep you really happy.
What is your
Well,
goal?
Long-term goal. Competing on American Ninja Warrior was the big one, which I just checked off. Right now, some of my goals are I would like to podium at an NSC competition. And then I would like to win one either UNAA or WNL Worlds. So one of the two.
awesome.
Yeah.
So let's talk about A&W experience. Question: did you win?
Can't say anything.
I know.
Wish I could.
Thought we could break it here or something. I don't know. So how was that your first time this year?
Yeah, this was my first time on the big show this year, so
Yeah, on the big show.
super cool experience. Yeah,
I know
hopefully I'll
you
get
can't
another
talk
chance
about a
to,
lot, but
yeah, hopefully I'll get another chance to do it again. It was super fun.
We've had people on the show that talk about it's the middle of the night, and there's all these other factors to this competition that something people just don't really know about. Did that affect you at all? Like, what are some of those things that were maybe different about being on the show in that experience?
Yeah, so I had attended filming a couple times before, so I was pretty familiar with how everything ran and how the whole thing worked. So using that information about a week and a half to 2 weeks before, I started flipping my sleep schedule and would train like in the middle of the night to get my body ready for that. So nothing as far as like staying up all night and competing late really affected me, which I'm thankful for.
Because you took action to counter
Yeah.
it, right? Like,
Yeah.
I love the
Yeah.
fact that you even did that. That shows a high level of awareness on your part as an
Yeah.
athlete. put your body under those kinds of conditions to make sure that it wasn't going to be an issue for you. So
Yeah.
there's a golden nugget right there too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we talked about some of your goals for competing. Do you map that out then throughout this year? Do you already have your schedule of going into the summer, where you need to be, what you're going to do? Are
Um,
you prepared like that?
so at the beginning of every year, I just write out all of my goals, like with life and ninja and everything just bundled together. And then I decide what needs to change in order for me to essentially make those goals or achieve them. And I start doing that at the beginning of the year. So I guess essentially I just keep working on the same things that I'm doing all throughout this year and then eventually until I hit what I'm aiming for.
So I'm interested. Do you see yourself pushing into other areas of ninja, like coaching ninja or working in a gym? Does that entice you at all? Or do you even see a future for yourself long term, say outside of being an athlete in ninja? What avenues do you see are possible for you to continue with the sport?
I definitely want to keep doing ninja as long as I can, and I would love to keep coaching for as long as I can, but I guess at the end of the day, like I can really only do that if I can provide for myself and future family. So obviously family is going to come first, and if I have to stop, I will. But my goal is to just continue out through ninja for as long as I can while still being able to live comfortably.
So are you coaching in the Woodbury location right now?
Yeah, I am. It's me and then a couple of other people there. So
That's super cool. I didn't know that. So
yeah.
tell me about coaching. What aspects about it do you like, and how do you feel like coaching affects your own, you being an athlete, or vice versa? How do things of you being an athlete affect your coaching?
Yeah, being able to just see kids improve and like progress from being scared to hang on our brain to doing laches is something that's super cool and kind of rewarding to see. And as far as learning things, I learn a lot from my kids just watching them, right? Like there's so many little things that I don't think about on the smaller obstacles that I can see and like look at and learn how to do faster just by watching my students do them. So that's something that I've taken from them, which is super cool.
When you were younger, Evan,
Yeah.
what level do you think you started at? Were you like raw, like very low level, or were you athletic as a real youngster?
Yeah. So growing up, I had tried a bunch of other sports and was terrible at them. Like I was the worst on my baseball team 4 or 5 years in a row. Like it was just not good. And then coming into ninja, I wasn't necessarily athletic, but I also wasn't out of shape. So I
Hmm.
came in not really being able to do obstacles. I think I could maybe do the warped wall. And then from there, I just slowly and slowly progressed with my coaches and just fell into
Yep.
this trap of wanting to keep getting better and keep pursuing the best that I can be.
Yeah, that's awesome. Because the reason I ask is for listeners, parents, and kids to understand like
Yeah.
elite ninjas are not just born, like
Yeah.
you are developed.
Oh yeah. No. There's so many kids that I see walk into the gym every single day who are 10 times better than I was when I first started.
And the parents that are out there that maybe your kids have tried all the other sports and they were the worst kid on the baseball team or whatever
Yeah.
it is. I feel like ninja is this unique avenue for kids that find themselves in that position. That's similar to how I fell into it. Was like I sucked at everything else and I didn't like any other sports. My parents just stopped trying to push me to do things. And finding ninja at 16, it was like, oh, this is like my home. I finally found a place that I felt like I could actually do this.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of parents find themselves in a place where maybe you've tried a lot of different things. If you haven't tried ninja, go find yourself a local ninja gym and just see what it could potentially do for your kid. And it might
Yeah.
be something that they've been looking for.
But yeah, and I've noticed too, like just as I've gotten older and as I've went back and tried those other sports, is it's crazy how ninja has actually helped me improve in other sports too. Like whether it's just running or like even
Yep.
baseball now. It's crazy how much just like doing ninja has helped me with so many other things too.
No, that's a great point.
Yeah.
Maybe part of it too for kids, young kids finding their way and parents going, because I had kids and they're your age, but when they were younger, they tried all the sports. We tried baseball, basketball, all these things, but I've never seen, like in all those sports, I've never seen as many kids walk onto a baseball field or walk into a basketball court or a football field and be as excited as when you see kids walk into a ninja gym.
Yeah.
Think about that, you guys. Like part of, and I can't speak for you, but part of it, why kids or athletes don't take to certain sports, they're just not that excited about it.
Yeah.
They're not passionate about it. But when you like, I, it's thousands of times I've seen people walk in a ninja go, "Oh my God," and they just run
Yeah.
out there. They're so excited. You guys are a test of that. How many times have you guys ever seen that on a baseball field? I don't know. Very few. But it just dawned on me.
No, and I think that's such a good point. And not to bag on other sports, but maybe other sports are just not as cool as ninja. Ninja have
Totally.
all this,
Yeah.
all these aspects to it that just, I don't know, they're intriguing. And for me, it was like, these are challenges I've never seen before and things that I didn't even know existed. There was just this excitement about the fact of what you didn't know. And I think it's cool that walking into a ninja gym now, I still get that feeling because I travel to a lot of ninja gyms and I still get that feeling because there's still every single year there's these new
Hmm.
obstacles and there's these new challenges that people still haven't seen before. And it's like somehow it's continued to evolve at the obstacle level, at the competition level. And it's still obviously a very emerging sport, but I think it's so interesting that I can still walk into a ninja gym to this day,
Get excited.
look around and be like, oh, I've never tried that, or I've never done that before. What even is that? How do you even do that?
Yeah.
I hope Ninja can continue with that, but there is a lot of amazing obstacle builders out there that are really like pushing the envelope of that continuing to happen.
I had one more question on your training. So what
Yeah.
about diet? What about diet?
Diet. Yeah. That's something I'm not the best at. I try to focus on it a lot, like I have been in the recent months, but I'm just focusing on eating really like good and healthy food after I'm done training, right?
Yeah.
If I put like junk into my body after I'm done training, I'm gonna feel like crap the next day, and
Yeah.
it won't benefit me at all. So making sure I'm like eating a ton of protein and vegetables right after I'm done training is what I mainly try to focus on.
Yeah. Keep it
Yeah.
simple and it's perfect.
Our last question, what does Ninja mean to you?
Yeah, Ninja is everything, right? Like it's been my life for over half my life now, and it's community, it's friendships, it's faith building, it's just a way to stay fit and have fun.
Thank you so much for your time today, Evan, sharing all your little tips and tricks, and I'm looking forward to seeing you on the podium at these bigger competitions this year.
Thank you, appreciate
Oh,
it.